It was a night like no other, and I could feel a chill in the air as I walked the deserted path alone. The moon hung high, casting eerie shadows on the ground, and the silence was deafening. And there, at the end of the path, stood a ghostly figure, a woman dancing in the middle of the road. How did it all begin? Earlier that evening, a grand party was happening in the neighbouring village. It was the talk of the town, and everyone was going, including me. The night was alive with laughter, music, and dancing. Time flew by, and before I knew it, it was already 10 p.m. I usually do not sleep over, so I decided it was time to leave. But my friends were too engrossed in the festivities to care. My closest neighbour promised we'd leave together soon, so I reluctantly stayed a bit longer. Time slipped away, and suddenly it was 2 a.m. My neighbour was too drunk and tired to leave. No one else was heading in my direction. Despite the host's insistence to stay the night, I was determined to go home. The path home was dark, the moon only partially lighting my way. As I walked, I realised just how long the journey was. The daylight crowd had made it seem shorter. My home was isolated, past the last cluster of houses, and through a path we ominously called the Valley of the Shadow of Death. The trees on both sides of the path intertwined, creating an almost tunnel-like canopy that blocked most of the moonlight. My heart raced as I entered the darkened path. Ghost stories filled my mind. Rumours had it that many years ago, ghosts and deceased evil men could be seen there in the middle of the night, having their meetings. Back then, a man committed suicide without anyone knowing. He was declared missing and sought for 5 days. It was on the 5th day that his body was found hanging on the tree inside the bush by a palm wine taper. After his death, another rumour arose that his spirit was hovering around.
What are you doing here?
Appearing to people who passed the route at late hours. I tried to shake off the ghost stories, but then I saw it. Something white moving in the middle of the path. My heart sank. Goosebumps covered my skin, and I froze, trying to make out what it was. The moonlight, barely piercing through the trees, made it difficult to see. The white figure slowly took the shape of a tall woman, seemingly dancing. Fear gripped me, my legs trembled, and I took a step back, torn between retreating to safety or facing this apparition. I was almost home, so turning back felt like defeat. Summoning courage from deep within, I picked up a stick and moved forward, my eyes locked on the figure. As I drew closer, the ghostly image became clearer. It wasn't a woman at all. It was a tall banana tree, its large leaf swaying in the wind, casting an illusion in the moonlight. Relief washed over me, quickly replaced by anger at my foolishness. I had wasted precious time on an imaginary ghost. In frustration, when I got near the plantain tree, I fell on the leaf like a madman and tore it into shreds. And then I continued my journey home, disappearing into the darkness.